No one at the Ashford estate noticed the old woman when she arrived just before dawn. That was exactly the point. Wrapped in a faded gray shawl, her back slightly hunched, gloved hands gripping a dented garbage cart, she moved quietly along the marble driveway, collecting trash bags left behind after the previous night's lavish dinner party. To the guards at the gate, she was invisible. To the servants rushing inside with trays of silver and crystal, she was just another piece of the background, poor, replaceable, unworthy of a second glance. What none of them knew was that beneath the wig of tangled gray hair, behind the smeared glasses and deep artificial wrinkles, stood Edward Ashford, a self-made millionaire whose empire spanned real estate, technology, and waste management itself. And today he wasn't here to inspect his property. He was here to test the woman who now carried his family name, his daughter-in-law. Edward had built everything from nothing. Decades ago, he himself had ridden in garbage trucks, slept in abandoned warehouses, and learned the value of dignity when the world gave him none. Success had not erased those memories. It had sharpened them. When his son Daniel married Vanessa, a woman raised in privilege, beauty, and comfort, Edward welcomed her with cautious optimism. She was polite, educated, and impeccably dressed, but something about her kindness felt rehearsed. Conditional, compliments came easily to her equals. But Edward noticed how her smile faded when speaking to waiters, drivers, or cleaners. He said nothing. Instead, he planned. Vanessa believed Edward was overseas on business. Daniel believed his father was resting after a minor surgery. Only Edward knew the truth. Today was the day he would learn whether Vanessa respected humanity or merely status. As the disguised Edward rolled the garbage cart toward the side entrance, the kitchen door swung open sharply. Vanessa stepped out, her heels clicking angrily against the stone. She was dressed in silk loungewear, phone pressed to her ear, irritation written across her flawless face. "I don't care if the flowers were imported from France," she snapped into the phone. "They looked cheap." Everything looked cheap. She paused, listening, then scoffed. "No, I don't want excuses. I want results." She ended the call and turned, nearly colliding with Edward's cart. "Watch where you're going," she barked, recoiling as if the cart itself might stain her. Her eyes swept over the old woman's appearance with open disgust. "Do you people have any training at all?" Edward lowered his gaze respectfully. "I'm sorry, ma'am. I'll move." Vanessa sighed dramatically. "Honestly, they'll let anyone in here. This place is turning into a dump." She waved her hand dismissively. "Just don't block the entrance." As she walked away, Edward felt no anger, only confirmation. But the real test had only begun. Inside the mansion, breakfast preparations were underway. Edward slowly made his way through the service corridor, deliberately taking the wrong turn. A young maid noticed him and whispered sharply, "You're not supposed to be here." "I'm just collecting trash," Edward replied softly. Before the maid could respond, Vanessa's voice echoed down the hallway. "Why is there garbage in here?" She appeared again, eyes narrowing. "I said stay outside." Edward bowed his head. "I thought I could help clean inside too." Vanessa laughed, a short, humorless sound. "Help? You people don't help. You just make messes." She stepped closer, lowering her voice. "Listen carefully. This house runs on standards, and you don't meet them. Do your job and stay invisible." The words landed heavier than she intended. The maid froze, eyes wide. Edward nodded slowly, pushing his cart back toward the exit. But fate had other plans. As Edward reached the courtyard, he noticed a small figure sitting on the steps. Lily, Daniel and Vanessa's 6-year-old daughter. She was clutching a torn stuffed rabbit, tears streaking her cheeks. No nanny in sight. Edward stopped. "Are you all right, little one?" he asked gently. Lily looked up, startled at first, then curious. "My bunny broke," she sniffed. "Mama said she's busy." Edward knelt despite the ache in his knees. From his coat pocket, he pulled a small piece of twine and carefully tied the rabbit's torn seam. "There," he smiled. "Not perfect, but strong." Lily beamed. "Thank you, Grandma." The word struck him like a bell. Grandma, not garbage woman, not invisible, just human. Vanessa's voice cut through the moment like glass. "Lily, get away from her right now!" She rushed forward, pulling her daughter back as if Edward were dangerous. "How many times have I told you not to talk to staff?" Edward slowly stood. She was just upset. Vanessa glared. "That's not your concern." "And don't touch my child," Lily protested. "But she fixed Bunny." Vanessa snapped. Go inside. Then, turning back to Edward, her voice cold and sharp, she said, If I see you near my family again, you're fired. Do you understand? Edward looked at her. Not as a millionaire, not as a father-in-law, but as a man who had seen the soul of someone in a single moment. He nodded. Yes, ma'am. But inside, the test was complete. Or so Vanessa thought. That evening, the Ashford family gathered in the grand living room. Daniel stood beside Vanessa, confused as the staff whispered nervously. Then the front doors opened. The old garbage-collecting woman walked in. Vanessa gasped. What is she doing here? Before anyone could answer, Edward removed the wig, straightened his back, and wiped away the wrinkles. Silence swallowed the room whole. Daniel's face went pale. Father? Vanessa staggered back, her world cracking at the seams. Edward's voice was calm, controlled, and devastating. Good evening, he said. Now, let's talk about what you believe people are worth. To be continued.